All right, y'all, we are live. Welcome to the show. Grant Cardone. Grant, I never in a million years would think that I'd be talking Bitcoin and real estate with a legend like yourself, my friend. So you in Miami currently?
Yes, sir. I'm in Miami, and I'm glad to be on your show. I appreciate you having me, and I look forward to having a great discussion about that hopefully helps a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Look, I've been in Bitcoin since 2018, 2019. And, I've also been in real estate since before then. And this is the first I've ever seen. And I believe you're the first to take to market a Bitcoin and real estate fund similar to a REIT. You're kind of the first to do this, right?
Yeah, it's not a REIT because everybody's like, hey, you can't do this. I literally heard from a family office yesterday that said, what you're trying to do, you can't do. I said, well, why do you think I can't do it? They said, because a REIT can't sit with a bunch of currency or commodities or cash. It has to make distributions by its organizational agreements and bylaws. And we're not a REIT. We won't be a REIT. And we want to actually exploit there's about $4 trillion sitting in private and public REITs. Mm-hmm. And the goal is to provide people with access to real estate investments, some of which is mandated by large institutions and pension funds and insurance companies, and give them the access to Bitcoin's potentiality and volatility and liquidity, while giving them the stability of the real estate, the cash flow, the write-offs, that gradual, nice, very, very consistent slope upward of real estate, while giving them the volatility of the Bitcoin. So we think it's a great model. We know that it can be done. I did one deal in January. I've done 5. I just finished my 5th deal, and we have 7 more in the queue to aggregate and close before probably October, the end of October. All those deals should be closed, September, October.
Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in, y'all. We are live on Instagram, X, and YouTube. So, Grant, this isn't really just merging Bitcoin with real estate. When you take it public, this is merging stocks with Bitcoin and real estate. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's funny because I was in a room on X maybe a year ago, and the title was "What's Better?" It was a debate: real estate, Bitcoin, or stocks. And by the time, it was like 2 hours long, man, everybody's arguing about it and everything. And I got off of it, and I was like, why do we need to pick? What if you could combine all 3 of those, merge them into a new animal, and have the real estate, have the cash flow, have the tax? Like, we just did a deal of $235 million. It's going to come probably with somewhere between $70 and $110 million worth of write-offs.
So it's all the benefits of the real estate, and then you get the upside of the Bitcoin.
We merged the 2 together. Then we basically merge 10 or 12 or 15 deals together, and then take it public. So we think we get a lift on the NAV, and a multiple. So and now we have liquidity for our investors 5 days a week, that they can either trade on or they can borrow against. And we don't have any rush to sell anything. And we're a real company. It's not like we don't have real assets with real cash flow.
Because you're purchasing a real estate cash on your balance sheet, correct?
Well, this last deal, the first deal we did all cash. The second, third deal we did debt, equity, and Bitcoin. And the third deal, we're going to do about $140 million of debt. We've already closed this deal. $100 million of cash and $100 million of Bitcoin. And we'll pay cash for the Bitcoin, and obviously the cash down against the long-term loan.
So essentially, anyone could do one of these type of deals, right? You wouldn't have to be an accredited investor to get in on this, or to launch one yourself, to combine the real estate with the Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're using a Reg D filing. I forget the number we use. But it would be in the prospectus at cardonecapital.com. I mean, somebody could copy that. You could easily copy what I'm doing. The difficult part is going to be the real estate. There's two difficult parts. First of all, the REITs can never do this, which gives us a massive moat. I was on the phone with a buddy yesterday, and he's got a big REIT, and I said, this is going to destroy the REIT business, bro. Like, he's like, I don't want to hear that. And I'm like, yeah, well, there's $4 trillion sitting over there, and there's institutions that have to invest in REITs. I mean, they're mandated to do it. It's an old broken legacy system. They're gonna keep investing, but we will. We think we will. Anybody that can create this will pull money in from institutions that want exposure to Bitcoin, but are mandated to be in real estate and can't actually hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet directly. There's a lot of groups that can't do that. Government organizations, sovereign fund, pension funds, many insurance companies cannot hold Bitcoin. So anybody could actually create the structure. The problem is going to be the asset quality. Like, we're buying trophy, best in class real estate. Let me see if I can actually pull this up for you. We're not.
Yeah, of course we can screen share. So what's always curious, I know you've always been a big proponent of cash flow. Cash flow is king, right? So the investors will get to choose both the cash flow and the Bitcoin. I don't want to call it a dividend, but the Bitcoin, or they can choose one or the other to get both.
We started our first deal internally with, hey, you can check a box. Here's the history of this. Let me just go back and tell you what happened. I've been buying real estate for 35 years. It has done unbelievable things for me and my family. It's been phenomenal. I started buying it when I was 28 years old. And I was in Houston, Texas, bought a couple single family homes. I'm like, this is great. Third deal I did was 48 units. The fourth deal was 38 units. Fifth deal was 92 units. When I started doing the scale, like, it changed my life. And fast forward 2010, I did 1,100 units at one time in Florida. I still own those assets today. I paid $58 million for them. Today, they're probably worth $300 million. I've basically refinanced them almost 3 times. I have all my money out of them for 20 years, for almost 20 years. My money's out, been out, plus a profit. I haven't paid taxes on the profits, and they still cash flow. So my brother and I were on a call, and we were in a different debate about real estate versus Bitcoin. And I'm like, guys, look, Bitcoin's a phenomenal new asset class that I really believe in. But there's things it doesn't do for people that are entering the world of finance and want to create wealth. One, it doesn't cash flow. Most families need cash flow. I don't mean cash. I mean, an asset is the golden goose is giving you a little egg every month to live off of. Now, we distribute today to our investors. We have fast forward to the current situation. We send $8 million a month out in free cash flow to our investors. My brother said, you need to take that 8 million and throw it into any calculator that shows, hey, what would that 8 million have done for you? I've been invested in Bitcoin for 12 years. Well, yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to ask you too, like your kind of Bitcoin origin story. Because I know I've had your brother Gary on the channel before. I know he's been a big proponent of Bitcoin, but you were paid for a speech in Bitcoin?
Yeah, I was paid in 2013. Somebody wanted me to speak. It's one of our businesses to educate and consult companies. This company called and said, hey, they were doing our consulting, said, can you come in for a speaking gig? We can't pay you in cash, but we'll pay you 115 Bitcoin. Bitcoin was worth $500 at the time. And I'm like, yeah, look, dude, if that's the only way you can pay me, let's do it. I don't know what it is, but let's go for it, So I still have that Bitcoin today. I mean, 115 pieces times 118, whatever. It was the best speaking gig I've ever done. And that's how I kind of got onboarded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody explained Bitcoin to me. I didn't understand it, didn't know what it was. It was just the only way they could pay me. And rather than saying no, I said yes. And I held it. So fast forward, my brother said, Grant, your real estate, that one deal that I bought back in 2010 pays me about $1 million a month. He said, forget your investors for a second. If you just converted the $1 million a month for the last 12 years, you already had the cash. You already had the cash. You didn't need it. You were already living off of other things. Your other businesses were. I didn't actually need the cash flow. It was surplus cash flow. This is how this whole idea came up, by the way. And well, look, that money would be worth like $4 billion today or something, maybe 8. Okay. And that's what really got my attention. Look, numbers don't lie. People lie. There's long explanations about crypto and Bitcoin and broken money and the Fed and blah. And it becomes very, very, complex. I mean, not really, but it's just broken money, right? We all know that, but it's very difficult to confront the broken money concept because it's what you work for.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we came up with this model. We did a deal. Our first deal was 85-15. It was 85% real estate, 15% Bitcoin. Michael Saylor said it was a pussy fund. He literally called it that. And now our most current deal is 50-50. It's actually 1/3 debt, 1/3 equity, and 1/3 Bitcoin. And so we're accelerating the model. Okay. Now anybody can do this. But you do need good real estate. You need 2 things, really. You need great real estate to pull it off. You need to be under replacement costs. It still need 3. It needs to still cash flow. And 4, you're going to have to learn how to raise money to do this.
So the properties are all in Florida. Like do you ever invest in your home state, Louisiana? Do you ever look down here?
Yeah, I probably would not invest in Louisiana. It doesn't have the strategic metrics that we're looking for growth going forward. We don't just we want the real estate and the Bitcoin to grow together. I don't love Louisiana as an investment platform.
Yeah. So where did you grow up in Louisiana, Grant?
I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana. My family grew up in Madisonville, just north of where you are. And
Madisonville is incredible, man. Have you been there lately?
No, I haven't been there in years, man. I mean, my father's been gone for 50 years. And but that's where he grew up. And I heard it's booming over there. I just, there's so many problems in Louisiana.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it, man. I look at, when I was in Miami in 2017, I'm like, why didn't I just buy anything in Miami? The appreciation would have been incredible. Now, the people that you're onboarding to this fund, I'm assuming these aren't Bitcoin people. These are real estate people, like you said, that are getting the exposure to Bitcoin for the first time.
Yeah, we thought, there was some people that thought that the Bitcoiners were load up. I never believed the Bitcoiners would buy this. I just didn't think it was. Now some Bitcoiners have come in now that they heard the goal is to go public, particularly because they've seen what some of these treasury companies have done, particularly Michael Saylor, and the upside of being a piece of paper trading and getting that volatility of millions of people investing. We've had some Bitcoiners come in, but mostly it's people that want exposure to the Bitcoin, don't want the risk profile of it, don't really want to learn about it, don't want to read the Bitcoin standard, don't want to do the 100 hours, but they trust real estate. Some of it has been, a lot of it actually has been big real estate groups. These are monster real estate groups that want exposure to both, but are, legacy real estate investment companies that have a mandate to invest in real estate because of the stability, but do want the exposure of the Bitcoin and don't have any.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, that this is almost an entirely different group of people than the average, crypto people. But Grant, something I did want to ask you, I'm sure you've seen the FOMC meeting, interest rates are kind of staying the same. if you were somebody that didn't have any Bitcoin or any real estate, would you purchase, say you're in your 20s and you have no real estate, no Bitcoin, would you use that to a down payment to purchase a rental property? Or would you put, instead of that down payment to a rental property, would you put it into Bitcoin? Not you specifically, but somebody maybe in their 20s.
Look, if I'm 20 years old, the only thing I'm focused on is getting great at something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you buying Bitcoin, the problem with a kid taking his last $5,000 and putting it into Bitcoin is you haven't, like, Bitcoin does a lot of things, but it doesn't improve you personally.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do everything. Okay. Like, some of these Bitcoin maximalists, they're like, man, Bitcoin is the solution for everything in the world. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, bro. But like, to me, the first thing people should invest in is themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I am more valuable than any Bitcoin or creation or AI, or I'm more valuable. I'm a unique individual. There's one of me. There's not two of me. I have an identical twin brother, but there's still only one of me, and there's only one of him. And I wouldn't tell a kid to invest his last $5,000 in this. I would say, bro, put the $5,000 in yourself.
Yeah.
Don't buy a piece of real estate. Invest $5,000 in you. I'm trying to share you on X, but I can't find you.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm going to send you, I'm going to put the live. So I got the stream on X. I'm going to send it in the chat, Grant. And y'all, if y'all got any questions for Grant, feel free to drop them in the chat, Bitcoin or real estate related.
Yeah. Are you a space right now? Are you a space? Or are you a?
No, it's just a live stream. So it's an X live stream.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll message it to you. Will you want me to just email it to you?
Yeah. Let me see. It's in the pink, right? Just don't see it.
Yeah, X is kind of funny with its live streams. If you click, I emailed you a link, Grant.
Okay.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, definitely drop them in the chat, Bitcoin, real estate related. Another thing I did want to ask you, I think I've heard you mention this before, that like, hey, look, if you're going to give me the crypto or like pay me for a speaking engagement, crypto, I'll take it. So what I took from that is you're not really somebody that's investing in altcoins. You're not somebody going out buying Ethereum or Solana or XRP right now. Is that correct?
No. Yeah, I'm not. And I'm not saying those aren't great investments. They could be. I can't study everything. I don't own GameStop either. I don't own Nvidia. I don't own Microsoft hit $4 trillion today. I don't own that. I don't own Apple. Like, there's a million things I don't own and I haven't done. There's, millions of ways to create wealth and financial freedom. I mean, maybe not a million ways, but there's a lot of ways. I have only done a couple of them. So I am limited. I have a very limited range of expertise in these other platforms, including most platforms. I don't know about most things, and I admit that I don't know about most things. So I find one or two things, bro, that I can pound on, and that's what I pound on. First thing is I've improved myself. I mean, I can tell you one hack.
Yeah.
I was 25 years old. I was effed up. I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. I was terrible at everything. I was a salesman and I hated it. And I didn't know what I was doing with customers. So I hated my job, by the way. If you don't know how to do your job, you're going to hate it. You don't hate it because of the boss. You don't hate it because it's a shitty job. I hated my McDonald's jobs. I hated my refinery job. I hated the clothing job that I had at Gidfree Clothing Sales in Lake Charles. I hated the shoe sales job. I tried the refinery work. I tried working on a boat out of New Orleans. I hated every job I had, bro. And then when I wasn't working, I hated not being work. I hated being unemployed. I just hated all that. So when I was 25, I'm like, look, I got to get good at something. Because if you're not good at something, you're going to hate it. And then I had a sales job and I invested in myself. I spent $10,000 to become a professional salesperson. And I didn't stop at professional. I became a master at the art of selling and negotiating and communicating. I mean, I became a sensei at it. And I'm not bragging. I'm being as humble as I can be. I learned the art of sales like Tom Brady learned how to be a quarterback. And I took it that serious. And what happened is, because of that profession, I started pounding money out. This is 35 years ago. Like this is 3 decades before the consideration of a Satoshi.
Do you think sales is the most important skill set?
No, I don't think it's the most important. I think a subset of that communication,
100%.
communication, the ability to communicate with anyone about anything without a bunch of effort and without sweating and freaking out and losing it. And, you know, what happens is people aren't good at something. So they're not good at it because they haven't trained on it. So what they do is make excuses and put labels on why they're not good at it. And you say you're an introvert, or you don't like talking to people, or you don't like rejection. These are made up concepts to make sense of the idea that you don't like to communicate to people. When the truth is, the most natural thing in the world is to communicate. You've been doing it since you were a baby. Crying is a form of communication. Okay. Like laughing is a form of communication. Give me some milk as a form. Like it shouldn't be difficult to communicate if you actually learned how to communicate to people. And that's a sub basis, by the way, of sales. And the better I know people that can talk, but they can't sell.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And look, for those, for those watching, y'all, your book, Sell or Be Sold, that was probably one of the best sales books I've ever read. And I can correlate that to like deals I've signed, and like I could almost hear your voice. And it's like, you're exactly right. Like one thing you said in it was always agree with the customer, And, you know, you mentioned I think you were trying to get like a 5th dog for your wife, and your wife didn't want a 5th dog or something. And you just agreed with her, like, oh yeah, 5 dogs. That's too many.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's, I wish I would not have agreed with her on this last dog we got, Doodles. Yeah. So, yeah, I would just tell people back to what would the 20-year-old do? Cause I don't know if we finished that conversation, but
yeah.
I don't think that, look, if you're broke, whether you're 20, 40 or 60, the thing should not be looking for a play right now. You shouldn't be looking for, okay, where do I put money right now? The thing should be, how do I get great at something to the degree that other people recognize me for my greatness? Like, people should be stopping you saying, bro, what are you drinking? What are you eating? What are you doing? What are you studying? What are you reading? Like what are you doing different? If they're not saying that, it's because you haven't changed yet. Change is always seen first by others. And you don't see it in yourself first. Like if I go work out every day, not 3 times a week, but every single day. If I did 2 workouts a day, I won't see any change the first 6 days. And then I'm probably going to see some change in day 7 or 8. I'm going to start to see something that's like, okay, I'm going to start feeling better first. I'm not going to visually see a change, but I'm going to start having something in me says, hey, I believe in me more, or I have more discipline, or I'm going to start having the illusion that I'm building muscle, or something's changing. But somewhere around 14 days, or somebody's going to start noticing something, you know, and when other people are noticing, then you're moving in the right direction. Then there's a level where, like in sales, people are going to start trying to hire you. If your customers aren't trying to hire you, they're just buying from you. That's great. You're a good salesman. But if you're a great salesman, they're going to start trying to hire you.
100%.
Now, the level above that is the master. Okay. When you're a master at something, people will no longer try to hire you. Okay. Okay. They will try to pay you to consult their company and to transfer your skill set. Can you come teach this to my people? See, that's a much higher level of acknowledgement than, hey, I'll give you a job. Even higher than that is, bro, I can't touch you. Like, it's pure, like they see you, how good you are. They can never, ever hire you away. So a buddy of mine told me somebody tried to hire him. I said, it's because you're not great yet. You're not a master yet. Because when you're a master, man, you know you can't be bought or purchased.
Well, the problem is most people think they're a master and they haven't gotten to that level yet.
Yeah, bro. Like the masters don't think about themselves as masters. By that time, you're sharing your skill set with other people. You're studying the game constantly. You're obsessed with it. You cannot not think about everything as your craft. You know, if you work with hammers, everything is a nail. And if you're a master of sales, every conversation is an opportunity to convert to a sale. Like you just see the whole world in your frame. You're completely obsessed without effort, by the way. Yes, this is the Bitcoiner. The Bitcoiner that studies for 10,000 hours, bro, everything's Bitcoin. Like everything they see, Bitcoin is the solution. It's just being completely obsessed and saturated in a conversation.
Yeah, and most people don't do that. Most people don't work on themselves or master their craft. They're okay with mediocrity, unfortunately. Now, Grant, we do have some questions coming in the chat. Look, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all got any questions? We got Grant.
I got a question. Why do I have so many haters, man? I can't see the chat, but dude, a guy called me the other day. He's like, bro, like, why do you have so many people that hate you? Like, there's all these guys online that constantly are obsessed with your success or what you're doing, or what you're buying, or your new business, or, you know, they're like, people are doing videos about you. I said, bro, I don't know how I do this, but.
Well, in a world of like likes and clicks and clickbait, you know, unfortunately, making videos hating on someone are going to get more attention than making videos praising someone. Like if I make a video that says Sell or Be Sold is the best sales book I've ever read, it's going to get only a few views. If I make a video that says Sell or Be Sold is the worst book, never read it, it's going to get 1,000 more views.
Yeah.
That's the algorithms. That's a reflection of society, I guess.
Yeah.
One question, Grant, my name is Naive 25 from UK. I've got an email marketing agency thinking of breaking into the US. Any advice on getting my name out there? So he's coming into from the UK into the US with a marketing agency. What do you think he should do?
Yeah, well, number one is good luck, bro. Like, I know you think there's a bunch of money over here, and there is, but two things I don't like about this idea, Nayab. Number one is Mark Zuckerberg and Google are going to destroy the marketing space. They don't want you using a middleman for ads. Okay, they're going to destroy this space. AI is going to destroy this concept of marketing. Now, if you saw me do that show, that Undercover Billionaire, where they dropped me off at Pueblo with no money, that was the business I built. If you're going to come over here and rush it, do it, bro. Come. Just only talk to companies. Do not go straight to consumers. Go to companies. Handle their marketing for $5,000 or $10,000 a month. They can't hire anybody to do that. Nobody really yet knows how to maximize or utilize AI yet. And the game's still open. So you could come over here and make yourself $5 or $10 million pretty quickly. Not a bad idea, but I don't think it lasts forever.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, you're going to have to cold call, go door to door, and only talk to companies.
Yeah, I wouldn't go top tier either. I wouldn't go the top third. I wouldn't go Fortune 100 companies or 500. I'd go to middle class America. There's 32 million small businesses in America that don't have the time. Most of them still don't have an Instagram, LinkedIn account, TikTok account. They don't know what they're doing. Well, look, I have 16 million followers online. We communicate with them constantly, but I still don't know what I'm doing. So,
you know, another thing I wanted to ask you too, Grant, because I know a lot of the laws have changed on this, where Bitcoin is going to be listed as an asset when purchasing real estate. So obviously, I think the direction this is going is that the banks are going to allow you to leverage your Bitcoin to buy real estate, which I'm sure you know the banks can't wait to take your Bitcoin if you default. Is this a strategy you would maybe employ if you were somebody that had Bitcoin and digital assets?
So I would be very careful with banks, margining any of your assets. We use debt on our real estate, but remember the debt, this is good debt. This is debt that is supported by the real estate cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
When you leverage your Bitcoin, well, let's say you have some money at Coinbase, you have $1 million of Bitcoin at Coinbase. Mm-hmm. Let's say your cost base is 100 and you got $1 million of Bitcoin now. And you're like, I'm going to go leverage, 35% of that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a 70, but you could, by the way, you could have one this morning. You could have a 70% drop today. People say that's gone. Maybe, I don't know, dude. If there's a maybe, bro, like you're at risk. Okay. If it drops from 1 million to 350,000, Coinbase is going to call you up or wherever you hold it. Hey, bro, you need to cover this in the next 24, 36 or 72 hours. They're going to get whatever your contract says. Mm-hmm. Now, when you sign up for whoever's holding your Bitcoin, they're going to tell you, oh, no, we won't exercise that. Okay. Understand that the day Bitcoin or any asset class drops 70%, it's not you asking. You're not going to be the only person asking for an exclusion on that 72 hours. There's going to be millions of people saying, hey, bro, can you give me a week? And they're not going to give you a week. They're going to call your margin. They're going to liquidate your Bitcoin at 72 hours or 24, whatever the agreement was. And your Bitcoin's poof is gone. So you don't want to risk losing a good asset. Yeah. And when we buy real estate, like our goal is never to sell our real estate. Our goal is to refinance the real estate every 7 to 10 years, never lose it. And
because it's tax-free money at that point, correct?
Yeah. So like if I take, we're doing this real estate deal. I don't know if I can show this graph.
Yeah, you can share screen, Grant. I can put it on screen.
Yeah. Let me show it. Okay. So I'm gonna go to you don't want to lose, Donald Trump lost the plaza.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose the plaza. Okay. And some of you Bitcoiners will be like, I don't want the plaza. Okay. You don't, I do. Dude, I'd love to have the plaza, combine it with Bitcoin and have the best of both worlds. Like, are you kidding me? It'd be freaking awesome to have both.
Hell yeah.
Let me see here.
You see the share screen button?
Let me see. Where is the share? There's the leave. You don't want me to hit leave, do you?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I want you at least to give us 30 more minutes. Appreciate you hopping on. We do have some more questions too. Do you see the share button?
I see present.
Yeah, hit that.
Share screen. There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this. Okay, so you see this little graph down here. This is a piece of real estate we just bought in Boca. So we bought this. Is it big enough?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So the blue line, there's a blue line, a green line, and an orange line. Just focus on the blue line right now. It's $235 million for the real estate. Okay. If I keep that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we think we sell that real estate with natural growth. We think we sell that for $35 million over 5 years. So we'd make $100 million on the real estate. Forget the other concepts, the Bitcoin, all that. It's just gradual, stable, consistent. We'd make 50% on our money. Divided by 5 is 10% a year. Okay. Nobody's going to be like, oh my God, that's amazing, phenomenal, la, la, la. But you didn't lose your money. You got some great tax write-offs. You had cash flow while you waited, and we make 50%. Well, what we're doing is we're adding a couple different things to this. The green line on this particular asset, we believe we can condo these units and sell off the units. Look at how beautiful that is.
Yeah, awesome piece of Boca Raton, Florida.
Boca Raton, yeah.
Wow.
It's 366 units, best in class, best location, trophy asset. You couldn't build it there today. Next to it is a 5-star hotel going in, And next to that is $5 million condos. In front of it are $40 million homes.
Is it on a corner from that last shot?
It's on a perfect street corner. It's Main and Main Boca. It's in front of a golf course. You know, it's, I don't know, 8 blocks from the ocean. It's phenomenal. Okay.
If it was a lot, it would be valuable, right? I mean, just a lot.
Yeah. It would be, you know, as a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's worth, I don't know what it's worth. I mean, it would take you 5 years to build this again. This guy's been on the project 17 years. So this project has been underway longer than Bitcoin's been on the planet.
Wow.
And by the way, this project will be here 200 years from now. You guys understand, this is not this in the year 3200 or 2200, this will still be there. And the rents right now, $4,000. The rents in the next 10 years will probably be $6,000 to $8,000. There's tremendous upside in this building. But what we're going to do is we're going to convert this to condos and sell it off as condos in the next 2 years. And we're not going to make 100 million. We're going to make 200 million. But what we did while we were doing this was we bought Bitcoin at the purchase and combined it into an LLC, merged the two assets, so that when we sell off our Bitcoin at year 2 or 3 in 2028, we sell off the real estate. We still own 1,060 Bitcoin, and we've already made $200 million. and that is the beauty of merging best-in-class assets.
Yeah, you know. Oh, sorry guys, we lost Grant. Oh, sorry, y'all. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We lost Grant. Let me get him back on. Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. Yeah, we lost you for a sec, Grant.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Sorry, I hit the stop sharing. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like it just reminds me so much. I know Michael Saylor, you and him have talked, and you know what he did. I call it the infinite money glitch. What he did, and I still think Wall Street's catching up to that. Now, learning a little bit more about this project from you, I think you're 100% right. This is going to destroy REITs. I mean, look, the best REITs I've seen, some of them pay a monthly little dividend, but like I'll give me the Bitcoin, right? That little monthly dividend's not changing my life. The Bitcoin has the upside to change my life.
Yeah. All people are doing with their dividends is spending it.
Yep.
You're just spending it on bicycles and shoes. And now I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Look, if you need cash flow, you need cash flow. Our first deal, there was a little checkbox. Do you want Bitcoin or do you want cash flow? 90% of the investors in the first deal that we did picked Bitcoin and had no exposure to Bitcoin. Zero. 80% of the people invested with us in our first deal had no exposure to Bitcoin. Half of them had never done a deal with me. These were new investors, never done a real estate deal with me because it was too boring. It was like, okay, it's good, it's cool, it's stable, but bro, there's no real growth here. And half of them had never invested with me. 80% had never invested in Bitcoin, and the check size went up. Okay. Like one guy said, I showed him the model. He says, I'll give you, I think he gave me $15 million after showing it to him for 2 minutes. He's known me for 15 years. He has never invested a penny with me. Okay. He's like, you need to do 10 of these and go public as fast as you can. You found a glitch. This is a hack. This is a smart way for you to combine. It's a new machine, baby. It's a new animal. It's a new wealth vehicle. Okay. Now, as we did our investigation over the last 6 months, we're like, okay, this is going to be knocked off quick. People are going to be rushing in and doing this. Guess what? They're not going to be doing this. Okay. Like the real estate is very difficult to buy. I found out, I didn't know this, 190 REITs in America, Starwood, Camden's, Avalon's, these monster companies that own hundreds of thousands of apartments. They cannot do this. Their documentation will not allow them to hold Bitcoin. They have to distribute their cash. And the distribution of cash on a real estate project can actually be harmful to the real estate project, because some of that money, if you're forced to distribute cash, okay, but you needed it for CapEx, not good. If you have to buy your debt down, let's say my debt on this deal, we do 5-year debt. The biggest concern about this project we're doing right now, it's not the Bitcoin and it's not the real estate, it's the debt. Debt is the only real concern on real estate. If you're buying good real estate, the biggest concern is always the debt, because every 5, 7, or 10 years, the debt comes due. And if you're in a bad market, like we are right now, rates are up. If the rates are up here and the debt's due, you're getting less proceeds. If the rates are down, you're going to get more proceeds. They invert on one another. And so, you don't want to over leverage.
Yeah.
And so the first deal we did, you could check a box, cash or Bitcoin. The 5th deal we did, this one I'm showing you now, there is no checkbox. This is a Bitcoin real estate hybrid. We're going to take this platform public. That is the goal. I'll either take one deal, it'll be this one. Everybody that's invested in this one deal is also going to get the upside of the deal, the allocation to the Bitcoin, the potential of the condos. If I don't do any of that, just the long-term play of rent growth. But if I go public and convert this to a piece of paper, that $330 million project, if I get a 2 multiple, $300 million is worth $700 million. If I get a 3 multiple, it's $1 billion project. Okay, because the world does not know how to actually quantify what is this beast. And then can I scale the company out and do 10 of these, 20 of these, 50 of these? Now my buddy that was telling me, go get 10 of these as fast as you can. He's worth $17 billion, so he seems to know something. He said, Grant, beware of the VCs. When they see this model, they have infinite money and they will race to fill this space up. And I said, Bob, the problem is with real estate. And if any of you have ever invested in institutional high quality real estate, the problem with that is it takes time to develop those relationships and get into the market. And, if they want to come down to Miami, they still got to learn Miami. You still got to get into the flow. Like these are finite assets. These, like Bitcoin. This is not that property I just showed you. There's one of a kind on planet Earth. There's not 21 million of them. There's one 101 Meisner with 366 units. Now, is it any different than the one across the street? Yeah. It's a better side of the street. It's a better quality asset. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't think this works on any real estate. I think you have to be under replacement costs. It needs to be cash flow positive, and it should be great real estate for it to work.
Yeah. So the VCs can't just pour in and steal this model, because if they don't have the real estate, which, you've been investing in South Florida for.
The VCs aren't looking at this, bro. VCs don't even look at real estate because they think it's boring. The VCs want 50x returns on everything.
Yeah. So now, Grant, again, so you don't need to be an accredited investor to get into this. Where can they go to learn more about this?
Yeah, go to CardoneCapital.com, CardoneCapital.com. You can go there and download the PPM. You need 200,000 minimum. Our minimum on this deal is $1 million in cash. But if you're already invested with me, or there's some reason for us to do less than that, I own the company, so I can always make a decision to take less than that. Our average investor right now is well over $3 million. Minimum is our average on this particular deal, with some guys writing checks much, much, much greater than that.
Yeah, and like you said, once it goes public, I mean, this thing.
Well, once this deal is fully subscribed, okay, that deal's over. Like I cannot build another deal. They're going to mine more Bitcoin. They're not going to, there's no mining another one of these deals. So we have, in Bitcoin and real estate, like Bitcoiners love real estate, and real estate people typically once they understand Bitcoin, they like the limited quantity. They like the finite, right? What they don't like is that you can't see it and touch it.
Yeah.
But what real estate people will like is, bro, if you didn't pay for it, okay, imagine we bought a 16 unit property.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you split it, Kevin. And you're Kevin that doesn't know anything about Bitcoin. You're Kevin Clueless. That's your name. Kevin Clueless to Bitcoin. And me and you split a deal in Metairie or Madisonville, and we bought 16 units, closed the deal. Let's say it was $1.6 million. And we were doing our due diligence. We were going through rehabbing the units, and we went into unit 16 and found $2 million, a wallet with the password, and it had $2 million of Bitcoin. And I own 50% of that project, and you own 50%, which means you own 50% of unit 16, and so do I.
Yeah.
And I would come to you as my partner and say, bro, I just found a wallet with $2 million of Bitcoin. Do you want it? By the way, you're Kevin Clueless.
Probably. I don't know what I'd probably say no, because I wouldn't know what it is.
By the way, our real estate still cash flows.
Yeah.
Okay. The real estate still cash flows. We're still paying the taxes. We still have rental income. We're still getting $1,500 a month for our units. Like, look, do you want to split the wallet, bro? Or do you want me to own the wallet? Well, I don't know what Bitcoin is. Guess what? I don't know what it is either, bro. Do you want to split it? Like, you're not eating something. It's not like you're eating some foreign food that you're not sure of. But you guys in Louisiana, you guys will eat anything. So
pretty much.
You eat the head, the tail, everything. But my point is that is basically our onboarding process. Hey guys, the real estate owns the Bitcoin. Do you want part of it?
And people are more open to having at least some exposure to the asset class, where, you know, just a few years ago, that was taboo, you know, like you said, when you did your spaces before, real estate versus Bitcoin, a lot of tribalism, you know, the Bitcoin people don't like real estate. The real estate people don't like Bitcoin. And like you said, why not do both? Why not have both? It's crazy.
Bitcoin does not provide shelter.
Yeah.
You know,
or cash flow or tax write-off.
You can own Bitcoin, but you still got to go to Whole Foods to get food, right? Like you still need oxygen. You still want to have fun. You're probably going to still want to have a boat on the weekends. If you want to golf, you know, my goal is we closed this deal. My goal is to move next door and buy that hotel and build the biggest Bitcoin hotel fund ever done in America, maybe the world.
Do you think Miami is the crypto capital of the United States right now? I know Trump has said he wants to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, but it seems like Miami is light years ahead of everywhere else with crypto adoption.
I mean, Miami's got a lot of good things going for it. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, Palm Beach. You know, I mean, that next door to me is the only 5-star hotel in South Florida. If I can get a hold of it. You know, the golf is great down here. The water's beautiful. If you guys have never been to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, like when you fly in here, you're like, oh my God, this is one of the best kept secrets. The problem with Florida is, particularly Miami, is they have done a terrible job at marketing themselves. Since Miami Vice, you know, and what was the Scarface and Miami Vice put Miami on worldwide radar, but for the wrong reasons, and people have avoided it. And because but Miami is a fantastic city. I lived in Los Angeles, California for 25 years, and it's beautiful there. Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, La Jolla, California. I lived in all those places. Miami, phenomenal.
You get the benefits of California without the politics, right?
Bullshit, dude. Without the taxes. I moved here. They said, how do you like Miami? I said 13.3% better.
Oh, great. I know you got to get out of here soon. You got time for some questions in the chat?
Yeah, let's do some questions. I'm good.
Yeah. So boomers bought houses for the price of a used Honda. And my mates out here stuck paying $2,000 a month in rent. As a young man, What are my options? Housing is at the most unaffordable levels, and it feels rigged.
Yeah, savage. Okay. You should rent. Okay. Don't worry about what the boomers did, by the way. Okay. The boomers bought the house for 30 grand. Oh, by the way, the Honda's $770 a month now. So you want to talk about rigged? I'll tell you what rigged is, bro. Paying $770 a month for Honda, a card that you drive 30 minutes one way and 30 minutes back, and you got to pay insurance for it and gasoline. And you're only using it 40 minutes a day. You want to talk about rigged? I'd rather pay $3 grand for a house than $700 for a car. Number one. Number two, you should not own a home. You should rent where you live. It is in 50 cities in America, rent is half of what it costs to own a home. Okay? A mortgage, savage, a mortgage is rent by a different name. A mortgage is rent by a different name. Instead of 10 months, it's 30 years. It's prison. And the baby boomer that bought it for $35,000 and now it's worth $350,000, you're not counting the interest he paid, 7% for 30 years, 2% for taxes for 30 years, maintenance 1% a year for 30 years, PMI if he didn't put 20% down or more, PMI, bullshit insurance for 30 years, okay? Plus the opportunity he could have had if he had taken that $60,000 of down payment or whatever he put down on the house. Let's say he bought the house for $35,000 30 years ago. He had $7 grand down. He could have put $7 grand into a variety of different investments that would be worth 700 grand today, not 350,000. So not to mention he's trapped in the house. He lost his mobility. He probably doesn't even want to live in that neighborhood. You forgot that in 2010, millions of people lost their homes. Everybody acts like a house is a great thing. There's $13 trillion of equity trapped in homes right now that should be invested in the market, in your own business, in yourself, in travel, adventure. My life, last thing I'll say about housing, okay? My life has never, ever been improved because I owned a home. Never. Nothing good has ever come at my home. Nobody's ever come to my house and given me $1 billion. I had to leave my house to go get $1 billion, but nobody's ever come to my house other than we had our kids there. We raised our kids, but my kids, we could have raised our kids anywhere. My kids wouldn't care, you know? So is it stability? No, the parents are stability. The house is not stability. My kids have been in 19 countries by the time they were 6 years old. The stability was the parents, not the four walls around them.
Yeah, I agree with you. So obviously there's benefits to renting. There's the flexibility and, you know, the upside of investing money. Otherwise, I look at it like this, like you said, what does complaining do about it? You know, think about it. The boomers didn't have the internet. The boomers weren't able to be on a live stream asking Grant Cardone questions about real estate. So you can look at this different ways, but again, complaining about it's not going to do anything. I know people right now becoming millionaires wholesale in real estate, Burr method real estate, Airbnb arbitrage real estate. Like there's so many ways you can make money in real estate because of the internet that the boomers didn't have. So you're just looking at it, you know, the glass half empty instead of half full. But
yeah, Savage, if I were you, bro, I would go buy 16 units where you live, 16, 32, 64, 128. Think in those terms, 16, 32 doubles. Okay. Every time you raise the rents $25, that's how you create wealth. You have no way to create wealth in a home other than time. And if you live in Flint, Michigan, you lost money on your house. So like not everybody makes money on their homes. Like everybody's like, oh, the baby boomers made so much money. No, they didn't. You don't make money until you get it. And if you die in your home, your grandmother's 78 years old and she dies and her house is worth $1 million. What are you guys doing? You're not going to keep the house. You're going to chop it up 3 ways. You're going to sell it as fast as you can. and you're going to get rid of it. Okay. All those people that were in war after Katrina,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't make any money on their homes.
True.
So anyway, this idea that a home is an investment is insane. And I know I get a lot of heat on this, and love to know from you guys in the chat. Do you really believe a home is an investment, or was that just a sales pitch so that you'd go out and get enslaved into a home?
Yeah. So I've always liked the theory of, buying the home, to rent, and, to have the flexibility of renting does make a lot of sense. Now, another question that came in, Grant, what are your thoughts on digital collectibles and NFTs, digital art owning space? Was it too early in 2021? 10 years from now, it seems like digital spaces will be more useful and understood. So,
dude, love the avatar, by the way, Carbon. Yeah, I think it was too early, overplayed. Everybody got too excited. You rushed in, anytime you see masses moving in a direction, just sit back and watch. They're all going to jump over the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Mass groups make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it was too soon. We were actually looking at an NFT project at the time, and I bailed on it. I was on the phone last night with Jordan Fried. He was big in the NFT space. He was pitching me a project back in 2021. We were like that far from pulling the trigger, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. And I'm so glad I did, because a lot of people would have got hurt in that project. Do I think that they'll come back? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Do I think they'll come back to the values they were? No, I don't.
So, and I own a ton of NFTs, and looking back on it, I think Grant's right. I kind of got caught up in the hype, but I truly do believe in the technology, and I think I believe in the value proposition that NFTs can offer as far as granting access, so there are some projects that have true utility, but the valuations make no sense. And nobody can tell you what the NFT or digital collectible space is going to look like in 10 years. It's really impossible. So if you are buying them, you're speculating, you're gambling, and that's okay, because you can make money gambling. But I've compared it to the fine art space, which is a really just legalized money laundering. And I feel that if they can get some of that market share into NFTs, it could really be something. But why buy NFTs, when you can buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP? Got another one here. Hey, Grant, any advice / suggestions on how to integrate AI into personal branding?
Yeah, I don't know that I would, maybe ask AI, like, what could you do to expand your brand, and maybe look for some brand models, maybe ask AI to go deep search on some brand models that are similar to you and your space, Scarlett, and to see what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Scarlett, let me call you right back, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I call you back right back? I'll call you right back. So yeah, but look, to brand means to sear into the mind of. And if you guys think that there's any quick hack to doing that, there isn't. There's no shortcut to searing into the mind of a person. So the way to brand something is repetitively. You have to stamp over and over again. And there is no shortcut to branding. There is no, you're going to get a PR company to get you some PR. Poof, it disappears in 10 seconds. You're going to be on Fox News like I was 2 nights ago. Poof, it disappears. Like there is no one thing to branding. You have to be in the space. You have to be frequent. You have to be consistent. You have to be everywhere. And you need to be clear in the beginning what you are. For the first 10 years of my career, dude, all I talked about was sales, negotiating, closing. And then I was so typecasted that I couldn't get jobs. Like literally Shark Tank refused to have me as a shark because I had so typecasted the brand as a sales guy. They literally said, he's just a sales guy. In the meantime, I had, $2 billion worth of real estate behind the scenes. I had two companies that were doing about $200 million a year in revenue at the time. Those companies would end up doing $1 billion of revenue. But Shark Tank said, I'm just a salesman because I had branded myself. So once you brand in, you sear it into the mind, you're going to get typecasted. Then you got to rebrand. Nobody ever asks about the rebrand. So I've gone from sales guy to social media marketer to crowdfunder. At the end of my career, I'll end up branding myself as a bank or an institution. There won't be Grant Cardone. It'll be an institution called Cardone Capital.
Yeah. And I think, the problem with the question he's asking is that's one of the benefits of having a personal brand. It's the one thing AI can't emulate. So AI can't make another Grant Cardone. AI can't make,
Well, your audience is going to say, yeah, it can.
Well, technically, but to have a singular person with a singular message, AI can't really replicate that in the sense of you are one of one.
Yeah.
You are unique. It can do everything else, right?
Yeah.
But your personal brand, I think, is what's going to really separate you from AI. Now, Grant, this is on Instagram Live. A question came in from a friend of mine, Todd. He said, what are your thoughts on investing in stocks like MicroStrategy rather than investing in Bitcoin itself? I know a lot of people like to put money into these Bitcoin proxy stocks, I call them, like MicroStrategy. Do you think it's better to do that or just grab the Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that. I would say invest in Cardone Capital because I know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I don't know, if I don't know, I don't know. And if you don't know, you don't know. Like the fact that you're asking the question means you don't know. So I would try to get as close as I can to the action and invest in the action that you are most sure about. If I'm fishing and I don't know if I'm dropping bait, I'm guessing. I see you about 50 yards away catching fish. I'm like, just move over there, bro. like this is so simple, so
yeah,
just move your little skiff over there to where the boat, like where you got some inside information. And by the way, there's ways to get inside information without breaking the law.
Just call Nancy.
Call Nancy.
Well, look, y'all, we're at an hour. Grant, I'll give you got a final message for our audience. Anything you want to leave us with before I let you go?
Keep everything, the sequence. Nobody ever asked about the sequence of how to do things. There's a sequence to success. And I don't think there's any real shortcuts to the game. There's faster ways to do things, and the fastest way to do it, I mean, one thing is like you got to get good at what you do, and you got to get confident about who you are and what you're doing. And if you walk into a casino, just understand that, there's a lot of tables in the room, and they're all there so you can lose money. And the loss of money happens before the game starts. You actually don't even play the game and you already lost your money. You walk in and you take your $1,000 and transfer it to their chips. The cards you get is not where you lost your money. You already lost it when you agreed to trade your cash for their chips. When you trade time for money, okay. Now I know a lot of people hate the job thing, but you're basically trading your time and creativity and genius, hopefully, for fiat. What you do with the fiat after that is probably more important than earning it. And that Bitcoin that I took 12 years ago, The smart thing I did was say yes to it. The second smart thing was I never got rid of it.
Wow.
And I traded some expertise I had. They gave me something else, and I kept it. Okay, that doesn't mean you should always keep everything. Maybe I should have sold it. Maybe you should. I don't know. I'm not giving you financial advice right now, but I'm saying you need a plan to create financial freedom for yourself. And if you're going to the financial institutions, the Legacy, the Vanguards and the Fidelities and the Merrill Lynches, bro, they're going to tell you to keep doing what's been making them trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars. Diversify your assets. You got to figure out what you know. Mark Twain said, "It's not what you know that's a problem. It's what you know to be what you believe to be true that is not. That is the problem." Buying a house, going to college, saving your money. These are all old legacy concepts that have trapped the middle class. And I would just tell you guys, you need to re-look at everything you believe to be true about money and assume that everything you learned is wrong. Buying a house, going to college, saving money, the retirement accounts, the Roths, the IRAs. This created trillion-dollar industries on the backs of the middle class in America and trapped them to never having anything.
Powerful stuff. And y'all, I agree 100%. And anytime I've sold an asset, I've always regretted it. And think about it. How many people would have called Grant crazy for taking that Bitcoin in 2013 for that speech? More importantly, how many people would have held it through the volatility? Not many, so that's impressive. Look, I appreciate everybody tuning in, all the questions. Thank you again, Grant, for hopping on this, man. Maybe I'll see you in Miami soon. Maybe I'll stop by and say hello. But thank you again, Grant, for joining the show.
Great job. Great interview. You do a great job, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, my guy. God bless everybody. Take it easy. We're out. Peace.